Chia. Sup, Junie Blaze. Chia. If you want to chat, I do more stuff on YouTube, just in case. I don't know if you knew that, Junie Blaze. But you caught the Heisenberg ref real quick, so. As you can see, the YouTube is where I have the chat. Very low effort stream. That's how we do it here. That's how we do it. Just gonna wait for some. I know I'm starting earlier than normal. Let's get some check-ins when the SARs are here. All the SARs need to check in. I'm using an older build of OBS. I don't know if that's helping the stream. I don't think it's really... Well, dropped frames seem low. So maybe it is better. I'm just going to wait for some peeps to come in. Let me just put in the... What do I want to put in? Oh yeah, NGL. Hey Junie, do you come every week, or are you kind of like a newcomer? I can see your chat, by the way, so I will see it, Junie, if you want to respond. Yeah, maybe people don't actually want this to be earlier. I'm really tired. Oh, goodness gracious. I think I need a nap after this. I think I need a nap, please. Yeah. What's going on? 3 minutes. 3 minutes and no one's here yet. Well, apparently some people are here, but they're not signed in or whatever. They're not signed in. They're a little bit shy, yeah? You're a little bit shy. We've got shy people who don't want to be seen, but they do like to watch the stream. Where the hell's David Tay? Let me get let me contact him. He usually gets the party started. He was telling me last night this is like kind of like his favorite part of the week. I was like, "Oh, cool. Thanks." Let me just, where are you at? I know it's probably been a bit confusing. Sometimes I start at, well, usually I start at 8. I'm going to try to start, I know it's 6:30. Maybe it'll be 6:30 rather than 6. I do kind of do something from like 4 to 6-ish anyway, so I should probably like give myself a little bit of buffer. Why isn't this not fucking working? God damn it. He's on his way. Oh, David Tay is here. Attritional. Hail, fellow yellow supremacist. I'm not a yellow supremacist, really. I know you might think that because of the title of the thing. And, you know, push comes to shove, obviously, if it was China versus... Why is my fucking stream... Now it's my fucking computer that's fucking slow as fuck. Fucking hell. I don't know what's wrong with my fucking computer. My fucking computer is, like, retarded. Hold on a second. I need to, like, shut them... Fuck. I need to force quit some shit. Let's see. What can I force quit? Yeah, let's force quit that. Oh, maybe it's like because I've got Zoom open too. Need to close that. Need all my resources. We require more minerals. We require more GPU. We require more CPU. We require more whatever. Sup SARS? Is it worse than before? Fuck, man. I'm so fucking pissed. Like, I don't even know what the problem. I went to an older version of OBS. Maybe I need to go to even an older version. I don't know what the fuck's going on. That's annoying. Sup, holy cow? Everyone checking SAR. For those of you who watch Matt Kim's podcast, he had a funny episode just last week where, so apparently he was like demonetized twice, or like really like harassed twice. Once for calling out like Jewish usury. Apparently they gave each other no interest when they loaned to each other. And then he talked about the Poofling festival in India that got a lot of Indian people angry at him. But now, apparently it seems that he's vindicated on both. But apparently the SAR, like checking in SAR and calling everything SAR, that came from the Matt Kim podcast, actually. According to them. I mean, I haven't done the research. I don't know for sure if that's true. But that is pretty funny, even if it was, or if it wasn't. How's it going now? How's the lag? It's not that bad, right? Maybe I should just go to an older version even. Anyway, I'll just wait for a little bit. But you guys got me. You guys can ask me anything. Go ahead. Whatever you want to ask me, that's fine. It's weird. I get some like random people that come on my Twitch. Lagging badly now. Well, I don't know. I can't really fix that, so stop telling me now. Sup, China man? How's it going? We're trying this earlier time. I think it'll be more like 6:30 rather than 6, just because I got stuff to do. What's back to the lab again? Yeah, that's right. I'm back in the lab. Part of it is kind of like I can't get back on Twitter yet. I'm still appealing this shit. I think they just might drag it out, and I might have to cave and just like fucking accept that strike, but that's fucking annoying, because it's literally I'm calling out a genocidal shit, and then I'm the one getting in trouble. That fucking is like, you know, I mean, it's Elon's Nazi shit anyway, so. I'll discuss what the subject is later. Holy cow! Once a few more people file in, I'm gonna wait till 45. I'm gonna give them a little minute. But while I'm here, while you have me, you can ask me anything. Ask me what your Musk is kowtowing. I mean, ever since he visited Israel, I was just kind of like, yeah, it's over. He's their puppet now. I mean, everyone's their puppet. The Epstein shit gets worse. Nothing happens. You know, Israel rapes people. They cheer them on. It's just kind of like a clown show. My favorite Jap food? Probably ramen. Just because it's easy. Yeah. I like ramen, but I don't get it that often because it gives me diarrhea. gives me the runs. I think it's like the oil in it gives me diarrhea. I decided to start streaming, not eat while I'm streaming, so that's where I'm. There's no Wingstop right now. Elon got lobotomized when he went there. Well, I don't know. I just feel like I don't really, I don't really think Elon is that intelligent, to be honest. I think he's good at like manipulating narratives. Oh, ramen is Chinese. Sushi, I guess. I'm gonna just be a basic bitch and say sushi. I actually don't like udon. I know some people like udon, but that's not a me thing. Well, that's not a me thing. Back to the. I've been watching a lot of 80s and 90s and 2000s comedy movies. And I'm noticing, a lot of them are made by Jewish people, and a lot of them are kind of fucking racist, especially towards Asian people. And I kind of already knew that, but now I'm seeing like systemic shit. I was like, oh, they took over after 67, right? They took over the propaganda machine after 67. So everything that's, it all comes from fucking that SNL shit that was created by Lorne. Probably a Zionist, even though he didn't say who was or anything. I mean, that's the thing. I feel like the real dangerous Zionists don't ever say that they're Zionists, right? Because they're too smart for that. Like, if you're an actual, like, Zionist, but you're dangerous, you're not going to just, like, go out and say, like, yeah, I'm a Zionist. I love imperialism. I love killing children, But, I forgot what his first name is, but Lorne, or is it Lorne Michaels? I don't know. But Lorne Michaels, if that is his name, I think, who created Saturday Night Live. Apparently, he was born in Israel. So I'm just kind of like, interesting. Shaolin Soccer is peak. Oh, I'm not talking about Asian movies. I'm talking about, like, American movies. You saw my video I posted in Asian politics? What did y'all think? Oh, I didn't get a chance to watch it. Sorry. What was it about again? Oh, man. So one thing that's happening right now, I am now 3 days without weed, so that's why I'm feeling a little groggy right now. I'm on day 4, I guess, of no weed, and it is not great. I've done this couple times in the past 5 years, like just taking a tolerance break, I guess. But this time, I'm actually going to. Yes, I don't want to watch Pluribus until it's all out. So I'm not even going to watch it in Thanksgiving. I want to wait till Christmas break. We're going to watch it Christmas break, David Tay. So don't fucking spoil it. Don't fucking go and spoil it for me now. All right? Don't fucking watch the whole thing and then like watch it with me and spoil every fucking scene. All right? Just don't watch it until I'm there. All right? I know you love spoiling shit, but it's not fucking. I don't. Yeah. Pluribus is. Well, it actually kind of relates to the main topic, but Pluribus is Vince Gilligan's new show. It's on Apple TV. But yeah, it just came out last week. But I don't want to watch it until they're all out because I don't like, waiting for the next thing, blah blah blah. And yeah, with David Tay, we can have our little cave man cave sessions. He has this apartment that we, ever since the pandemic, or maybe even before that, we just have to get kind of these like veg sessions, like that week between New Year's. Oh shit, between Christmas and New Year's. So that week we just kind of like stay in, or we go to like during the day we go to like burger places and pizza places in the city, and then what do we do next? yeah, we just like hang out, and the rest of the time like at his place, he has this kind of like setup where this like huge TV. And I remember we watched Witcher, the first season of The Witcher, and we are kind of like really high on edibles. And it was a kind of cool experience because I don't know if you guys seen The Witcher the first season, but the visuals were pretty cool. And so it's just like, oh, this is like cool experience. I think we also watched You, that fucking You show on Netflix. But yeah, I do concur. Do polka dots as an alternative. What's polka dots? I don't know what that is. We should try mushrooms. I'm trying to stay off psychs actually. I'm trying to stay off drugs actually. So the reason I'm doing this new tea break. Well, let me go back a little bit. So, you know, I've started. Well, I smoked weed for the first time in 2017, I think, right? Or maybe not the first time, but like more regularly, because that's when it started to get a lot more lax in LA to get it. I think 2017 or 2018, you didn't even need, I think they lifted the thing where you don't even need a fucking, like a medical card. You used to need a medical card. It was pretty easy to get, anyway, but you didn't need to like fucking do that shit anymore, and you just get it. And so really over the pandemic though, I had a lot of anxiety and about the shit that was going on in the world, all the anti-Asian hate crimes and et cetera, et cetera. So I started like smoking to sleep. I started smoking every night to go to sleep. And then it just kind of turned into a vicious cycle where I just like smoke every night to sleep. So that kind of started during 2020 for the past 5 years, and there's been like maybe 2 times I stopped for like a week or 2. But the one that I remember was 2022. So before 2022, or in 2022, I knew I was going to Singapore and Vietnam. And I don't know if you know what the drug laws are like in Singapore, but you don't want to get caught with anything. Not even a fucking hint of that shit, because they will come down on you with the wrath of God. For example, if you have something like 20 grams of cocaine, like half pound of like, or maybe it's like a pound of weed, that's like the death penalty. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to fuck with that shit. So I knew that a week before, I don't want to go through withdrawal, like the worst of the withdrawal while I was there. So a week before, because I didn't really even know what the withdrawal symptoms would be like. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to stop cold turkey a week before the thing. And, or maybe, I'm not even sure if I like just stopped cold turkey. I might have just like, well, anyway, when I was in Vietnam and Singapore, weirdly enough, I think it was week 2, because I had this like burst of energy, where I would also have polyphasic sleep, where I didn't really need that much sleep. I would take like probably around 4 or 5 times I would sleep from 30 minutes to an hour throughout the day. It would be kind of like, I think Leonardo da Vinci did that shit. But this was kind of like just naturally I was doing it. And while I was in Vietnam and Singapore, it was like almost like euphoric, because not only was it exciting, but I could like, I was going to like, fucking museum to museum to museum, just like going everywhere, because I only had a couple days or a few days in Vietnam, and then like another few days in Singapore. But I was like wired. I was like excited to do all this stuff, travel everywhere. Exactly. I mean, WNBA player in Russia. Yeah. What's with the early start time? Did you not turn your clock back 2 weeks ago? No, I'm trying to do on Thursdays. I think I mentioned this, but I'm trying to do earlier times so the East Coasters don't have to fucking stay up to 1 to watch me whine about shit. So that's kind of like why I've been doing it. And so every other Sunday, every Thursday, it'll probably 6:30. So I'm gonna stick to 6:30 as the time for Thursdays. And then every Sunday, I'm going to try 6:30 as well. But then there will be times when I have to push it to 8. So, yeah, I'm just trying to be accommodating, cucker. I'm a man of the people. I'm a man of the people. Man of the proletariat, right? Just trying to be accommodating. Just doing that shit. All right. So then, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, weed. So then, even when I got back from Singapore or Asia or whatever, I was still not smoking. Right? I think it was like 2 weeks then, and I still had that polyphasic sleep. One time I was visiting my friend, and I was driving back home, and I just had to like pull over. I was like, I need to fucking take a nap real quick right now. And it wasn't even that long of a nap. It was like 30 minutes. But I was like, if I don't take this nap, I'm probably going to fucking crash. So it was that fucking weird. Like, that doesn't really happen. Like, usually if I'm tired, I can power through shit. But I knew, like, I needed to take a nap right there. So I pulled into some parking lot. Like, it was, like, a little scary because it was, like, 9, 10 p.m. And this parking lot was pretty empty. And I didn't know what was going to happen. But I was like, oh, I need to take a nap. So I took that nap. Went back home. But after a couple more weeks, I think I started smoking again. And then I tried to quit again earlier this year, I think. And I made the mistake of doing heavy exercise while I was trying to quit. So that made me really manic. But now this time I'm using AI. So I asked AI, like, how do you, what can I expect with withdrawal symptoms, and what is like the optimal way to kind of like reset your brain? So it's kind of like a thing where I wanted to do it because I was like, all right, well, let me try doing it when I'm 42. Because, like, my optimal thing was be like, okay, maybe I just do it either socially, I, like, smoke up socially, or I just smoke during the weekend. So it's not like this everyday thing, and I can kind of clear a little bit my brain fog that I feel like I've built up over the past 5 years. So it's kind of like just I want to, I'm motivated now for reasons I cannot talk about, but I'm motivated now to use the full power of my mental abilities that I feel like I've, when I've been on weed, I feel like I'm only at 70 to 75% capacity. So I want that extra fucking 100, right? Or extra 25, right? I want full fucking capacity right now because I am doing things where I might need full capacity. I have my wits about me now. But also I want to finally finish this. That's why I'm talking about it. Back to the lab again. I want to finally finish this fucking documentary or video essay on Breaking Bad. So I did a little bit of writing actually on that today. I want to do some more tomorrow because I just finished Hitler's Table Talk. That was basically his monologuing or whatever in private from 1941 to 1944. And when I read through it, I was like, oh yeah, like now this, like I was like 95% sure that Breaking Bad was about Hitler. Now I'm 100% sure because I was finding things where I was like, oh yeah, Vince Gilligan read this shit 100%. 100% Vince Gilligan read this fucking thing because it matches a lot of what Walter White does. It talks about teaching, it talks about the proper teacher and what a proper teacher does and what a proper researcher does. And I'm like, oh man, this is And then like one of his former teachers that he didn't like was last name Schwartz. So I was like, oh, this is all fucking interesting. This is all very fucking, because Elliot Schwartz, right? And yeah, I was motivated to keep. Now I'm motivated to like complete that project. But then when I was asking AI kind of about why or how to do this withdrawal shit, because I don't want to relapse or whatever, and I'm kind of asking it a little bit of questions. It actually told me something interesting. It told me, because like one of the things that happens when you stop smoking weed, especially if you use it to sleep, if you use weed to sleep, it suppresses dreaming. Like you don't remember, you do dream, but you don't remember any of it because like it's all being fucking suppressed. And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. And yeah, like in the past few days, I've been having a lot more vivid dreams. And I've been reading about dream stuff too, psychology stuff with Mr. Carl Jung here. That's also interesting. That I'm doing research on that. But I was just kind of like, wait a second. This almost feels like I'm lucid dreaming, or like I could be lucid dreaming. So I kind of like asked it a little bit more questions. And apparently, like let's say you never smoked weed before, and then you smoke weed a lot. Like let's say you're 30, right? You never smoked weed before, and then you start smoking a lot of weed, let's say for 5 years, right? Let's say, so you're 35. And then if you quit cold turkey, after around 3 to 6 months, it kind of all washes out completely, but you retain vivid dreaming. So vivid dreaming stays with you even afterwards, and like people can more easily lucid dream after that. It's like you've acquired this ability. And so I had never quit for more than 6 months after I started in 2020, right? So I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm kind of like want this power now. I'm kind of like scientifically wanting to engineer this superpower. I've been kind of trying to upgrade my, I've been trying to upgrade my physicalness with Wing Chun, right? I'm just kind of like, that's my physical stuff that I'm gaining, power in. But I'm like, wait, if I can like lucid dream, I could probably like self-analyze a lot of shit and kind of like figure out my own psychological trauma or whatever, like with my REM sleep. Like if I can control it, I can control my subconscious maybe, I'm kind of like a mad scientist a little bit, guys. I feel like you guys might have already figured that out about me, but I wanted so before, when I quit before, it was just kind of like, the temptation is there to just be like, what's one day gonna do, right? And then one day turns into 2 and 3 and 4, and then finally you're like, oh fuck, I'm back in it, right? But now I have the motivation. Now I'm like, oh shit, if I stick with this for 6 months, I might acquire this power. I want to like fucking do that. And now I'm like gonna buy a notebook to like record my dreams and stuff like that. I'm really excited about that. So that's kind of like an experiment I'm gonna be working on right now. It's only been 3 days, so I've got probably 117 more to go, right? Or what's 6 months? No, fucking see, that's how much weed I'm smoking. My math is terrible. It's more like 177 more days to go, right? And so, yeah, and I've been trying to do more Wing Chun because, like, yeah, I wanna look better. I wanna look fit. I wanna look not only like, yeah, aesthetically look better, right? I'm just trying to like get back into the thick of things. I think like in the past 5-6 years, ever since the pandemic, I've been pretty like depressed and pretty like fucking not really taking care of myself in the best way possible. And I just turned 42, so that's kind of like factoring into my decision as well. Of like, okay, maybe I need to start. Because the other thing that's been going on is a lot of friends and family. There's been a lot of health shit drama that's been going on in my life. Not for me, but like people around me, right? So I'm just kind of like been thinking about that too. So I'm trying to optimize my own health, but also like acquire superpowers if I can. But yes, I'm gonna lose all my hair like One Punch Man. I've been working on my 1-inch punch too. You know, um, it's all about the snapback, boom. You know, and so yeah, that's kind of but what I've been working on. So I'm feeling a little drowsy right now, unfortunately. So I'm probably gonna take a nap after this stream. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking about. But the other thing is, yeah, I've been working on. Finally, did most of the Nazi. I mean, like I'm not. I still have stuff I want to read, like this thing and other stuff about the Nazis or Germany rather. Just for completeness, I don't think I'm going to start writing my big documentary until maybe the end of the year. There's a few more things I want to read before I start. But yeah, but as far as the Breaking Bad thing, I want to just start making that. So fucking finally do that. Because I think it'll be a very interesting kind of thing. And I always wanted it, or my plan was to have it come, like the first one come out by Thanksgiving. Right? So I'm giving myself 10 days now to fucking make it. So I'm going to fucking be working balls to the wall. I'm going to be stopping reading my fucking readings all the time. Making that shit. So I'm going to hopefully have it out by not this coming Monday, but next Monday. Because that's when I leave for New York. And then have the Better Call Saul one come out by Christmas. And so that kind of like coincides with the Pluribus stuff. So it kind of like brings it in the conversation again. Because, Pluribus, I think it's like pretty well received from what I've read or what I've seen. I don't want to read anything either because I don't want fucking spoil. That's why I'm like, David Day, do not spoil it. Do not watch anything. Do not read anything. Just keep it clean, Anyhow, he's becoming Professor X. Yeah, exactly. I want to more be like Magneto because Magneto represents Malcolm X. So I'm gaining, but I guess the mental dream thing is more Professor X. Whatever. But yeah. So that's what I'm gonna be working on for the next 10 days or so. Hopefully get that out. That's when I'm back in the lab again. Just like, because the last episode I made about Hollywood, Jesus, that was, let me see. That's a long time ago. And I basically said back then, what was it? Yeah, so 7 months ago, let's see what the date was. Television. The date was April 2nd. Oh, man. So back then, I was like, I'm going to make one of these every month. But then a lot of shit happened after that April 2nd thing. And then a lot of drama happened and a lot of things that I had to be Sherlock Holmes for. Figure out what was going on. And, that took up a lot of my time, right? In the past. God. Yeah, it's been like fucking 7 months now. 7.5 months. Or 7 months, yeah. But now that I'm done with my research, the Hitler research, which I should have done up front to just knock this fucking thing out. But, I also like to procrastinate. And that was the other reason why I didn't want to smoke weed anymore. Because, like, when you smoke weed every day, Sometimes it's like, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow. I get into that mode where I'm like, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes 6 months. And so now I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm going to get my superpower dreaming shit going on. And now I just want to fucking make shit. So that's what I've been kind of solidifying on. And yeah, so that's what's been happening. Did I mention that I went to an Orthodox? Yeah, I guess like I did. It was Sunday. Oh yeah, and David and I are going to go to one in New York City. That'll be interesting. I think yeah. So I had apparently David had gone to one. So we're probably gonna check that one out. And then what else? What else happened in the past few days? I don't know. A lot of shit. A lot of shit's always going on in the fucking news. I can't even fucking. It's just like nothing happens, but then everything happens, right? There's just so much fucking bullshit. Israel just keeps raping people, and I'm just kind of like, what? Why do that? Why are we raping people? Apparently I read somewhere that they're training their dogs, their German Shepherd dogs, German Shepherds, right? It's interesting that they chose a German Shepherd to do their dirty work, but they're using their German Shepherd dogs to rape Palestinians. Like they're training them literally to rape people. And I'm just kind of like, how have we not fucking eradicated this place off the face of the fucking earth? Like this is evil beyond fucking belief. And they were cheering, the people were cheering these people on, as if they were like heroes. I'm just kind of like, how does this fucking happen? How the fuck does this happen? Like how are people saying like, yeah, sure, they have a right to defend themselves like this, right? How does that even fucking make sense? And then all this shit happened with the new stuff with the Epstein stuff, and I'm just kind of like, there's got to be some angle here that I'm not really seeing because, why are the Democrats so willing to share all this stuff just to take down Trump? No, there's got to be something else that's going on behind the scenes. But again, it's just so much fucking bullshit. That's how the fucking intelligence agencies work, actually. Like in communist China, right? The idea is that they're censoring everything and they're just telling you what to think. And they're probably lying to you, right? They're not telling you the truth because why would they tell you the truth if they're also suppressing all these other things, et cetera, et cetera? And we all know the reason why. It's because like the CIA and the fucking Western media fucking conglomerates, they feed Chinese people or any sort of people they're trying to target bullshit so that they can, fucking engineer a color revolution, right? So that's the main reason why they don't like allow fucking Western shit in their place. But also, I think most people don't really realize that in America, if you know how to look for the truth, you can find it. Like me, right? I'm in America. I know how to find the truth. It's not like they suppress it, but what they do is they feed you so much fucking random shit. You're not even sure what to believe anymore. They go like that and they say, "Oh, the opposite is true," and you're like, "What the fuck is going on?" Sometimes they're lying, sometimes they're telling the truth. It's just like, in China, I guess it's all about suppression. But in America, it's all about like throwing shit at your face. And the average person is not educated enough nor has the time, right? I'm not only educated, but I've got time. I've got fucking time to look through anything or go through all this fucking shit, go through the entire canon of Western philosophy, for example, and kind of like figure shit out. But the average person doesn't have that at their disposal, so they're not even sure what's true, what to believe, who's telling the truth. And even when I say something like that, like they're like, well, how can I trust you? How do I know that you're not CIA or blah 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 or FBI or whatever may have you? And I'm like, yeah, I guess, yeah. If I were in your shoes, I'd think the same thing, right? Like everyone's there. The CIA has created this culture of hyper individualism, but also with that coupled with mass paranoia. Like anyone could be a Fed, anyone could be a liar, anyone, blah blah blah. So it's hard to trust anything. That's how they hide the truth. They hide the truth by giving it to you, but giving it to you in this sludge of like all this other randomness shit. So you're not even they'll give you the truth, but you're not sure if it's the truth or not. So sometimes they'll give you the truth and they'll make it seem like it's not the truth on purpose so that they think that you're lying. Like there's all these fucking mind games that are going on with these intelligence agencies. That's basically how they've been operating ever since their creation. And the internet has just kind of made it worse. Everyone thinks that the CIA is just like spies and people kind of like, human intelligence, like people go into other countries or like CIA agents. But nowadays, because of the internet and the NSA, they could just fucking spy on everyone. And they're both still working with each other. They try to make it seem like there's internal strife between these agencies, but really they're all fucking like working together. They all know what's the main directive. Like at least the people at the top, the people, the rank and file might think that there's some sort of rivalry going on still between the FBI, CIA, NSA, etc., etc. But, as far as I, think they're pretty well coordinated at the top. Because they're all organized by MI6 and, the Five Eyes. They're all kind of like know exactly what's going on. So, yeah. Whenever someone tells me something bad about the Chinese government, I counter with the Epstein list. And that's the other thing too. Maybe they realized that Epstein was no longer valuable as an asset. So it's just kind of like, oh, we'll give the public this to make it seem like the CIA is incompetent and doesn't know what they're doing, or Mossad is incompetent. But it's just been this fucking distraction where everyone's like, release the Epstein files. Nothing happens. That's why they don't really care who's in office. They just care about manipulating the narrative to their interests. I think they cared obviously in the first term of Trump, but I think with the second term, he's basically been doing their bidding, And so CIA, I think, is still on top of shit. They just have like a asymmetric advantage of just having all this information at their disposal. And so, yeah, lots of shit to, and that's why I keep reading, because that's the only way you're gonna figure it out. The only way you're gonna sift through all the lies and figure out all the bullshit is if you fucking kind of like read. You have to know what's going on, because once you read enough, especially about psychiatry, philosophy, all these kind of unifying elements of like metaphysics and ideology, you kind of understand what's going on. You kind of understand really like quickly what's going on. Hey, Dilla Bigelow, what's up? If you want, we do this thing where you just say check-in SAR, SAAR. You don't have to do it, I guess, but it's just a fun thing. Everyone just like check-in SAR, and like they tell them where they're from, like, And you don't even have to be that specific. He was like, oh, check-in SAR from the East Coast or West Coast or China or Japan or whatever it is, wherever it is. Just a stupid thing I picked up from my friend, who's a much bigger YouTuber. Exactly, Chinaman. Chinaman's understood the assignment. From San Diego. Okay, cool. I don't think we'll ever get the real truth. Just got to muddle it through. Yeah, I mean, I got DeepSeek to basically said JFK was 99% probability the CIA. Alan Dulles and James Jesus Angleton are the culprits for JFK, in my opinion. From everything I've read, especially from David Talbot's book, I'm like, yeah, this guy had the motive. Oh, okay, Chicago, that's cool. This guy had the motive. This guy had the connections. This guy had, the personality to do that kind of fucking shit. And yeah. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about, especially with this new Epstein shit. I really should kind of like, at some point, like the way I conceptualize geopolitics, maybe it's because I've been reading all this German shit and this Nazi shit, but now I'm almost kind of like in the mentality of like, what's the DMP, Steve? Is that the Duke medical program? What I was saying was, wait, what was I saying? Man, this weed, this weed fog is getting to me, clearly. I'm so fucking tired, man. It's like the polyphasic sleep I was talking about, where I just like randomly get really fucking tired. I think I only slept for like 4 hours last night. And I slept another hour and like after being up for 3 hours, but I just need fucking more sleep. Anyway. Shit. I can't even remember what I fucking was talking about. Don't do drugs, guys. Don't do drugs. Not even fucking weed. Not even fucking weed. I don't think I've been to the Duke Medical Pavilion. Weed makes people energized. It makes me sleep. No. It's not the weed that makes you energized. It's when you stop. If you smoked for like, let's say, years, consistently every day, and then you stop, after around a week or two, you get like energy you've never fucking felt before. I remember feeling like I was like constant stim pack. I was like, all right, let's fucking, and I was in Vietnam. I was running around Hanoi. I was running around Ho Chi Minh City, just going through like, I think like one day I went to like 3 museums, just like took like thousands of pictures. I was like that fucking like, but yeah, yes, I know sleep is important. Actually, it's this thing that I've been working towards my entire life, remember? When I was younger, I was like, I want to get rich really fast. Not because I want a big house or a big car or whatever. I just want to sleep in. I don't want to fucking answer anyone, so I want to sleep in whenever I fucking want. That was my goal as a kid. As a kid, I was like, this is the plan. Make money and then fucking go to sleep. Well, yeah, replacing weed. I mean, it's not about like, I mean, people who take weed, they're not doing it for that fucking speed boost. They're doing it to relax, right? Yeah, David, and I told you, right? I told you to secure the bag, right? I don't have to tell you. I told you so anymore. You already know. But, Anyway, fuck. I don't even fucking, where was I going with all this shit? Epstein, CIA, everyone's on my ass. I don't fucking know. They're watching right now, right? They got someone on me, right? I feel like I've been too crazy online for them not to. Like, how many people could they have profiles on? Right? If anyone, they're usually targeting the legitimate communists, right? The people who will actually start a thing. I'm on they're fucking with my camera right now. They're today, right? They always fuck with my camera. They're watching right now. Sup, CIA guy? You enjoying the show? At least I'm making entertaining content. I feel like so. It's almost like they're not even at work. Like, damn. I wish I could have your job, CIA agent, just watching me be entertaining for like 2 hours as you're like fucking research, and then seeing if you could find anything to kill me with, right? Or ruin my life with. But in the meantime, you're having fun. Am I right? Yeah. Probably the reason why my computer's always like, actually, I think it's probably because my fucking OBS auto updates, and the newest one does not jive with my computer. That part is whatever. But there have been weird times when my camera does this funky shit. Remember that time when this guy just kept coming in with like 20 different alts, like crashing my stream? Do you think you are being shadow banned on your socials? It's definitely likely. I've got like 5,000 or 6,000 followers on Twitter. And I noticed that after I talk about Israel a whole bunch, I notice my engagement goes down a lot. And so, but, I don't really change my messaging depending on the algorithm. I just kind of like do whatever. This week, though, I've been off Twitter just because I'm appealing that fucking strike on me. And it's kind of been okay. I don't have the need to be on Twitter anymore. Like, in the past 5 years, I've been on Twitter every day. And sometimes I get, like, really annoyed when I get, suspended or whatever. But now I'm just kind of like, you know what? I could take this break. Especially now that I'm trying to fucking get off weed. And even if it goes on for more than a week, maybe I'll just keep it going until I'm like, all right, maybe I need to go back. You know what? I'll probably come back once I fucking finish the documentary because I want to share it on my socials then, right? Twitter got banned, and the only person I followed was Doug. What the fuck? Wait, how did your Twitter get banned? When did you start the account? Did you even fucking tweet? How does that fucking work? They banned a lot of pro-China accounts in 2022. This was before Elon took over, actually. I remember there was this like huge Armageddon. All these pro-China accounts just got like wiped. And then once Elon came back, they actually got reinstated because I guess they were like, yeah, that was bullshit. But yeah. Oh, that was a funny thing. So Matt's friend with this other guy. He's kind of like makes TikTok videos about conspiracy theories, which, as we know, aren't really conspiracy theories. They're just truth. It's just CIA created conspiracy theories to make people think that only crazy people think that they're evil, when more normal people are. And so this guy, James Lee, he's friends with Matt. He made this post about New York. I think this was before the election, but it kind of like made me laugh. He was like, what if Mamdani is secretly a genius? And he was like explaining how all these people apparently are saying, if Mamdani gets elected, I'm moving to Florida. I'm selling my place and moving to Florida. And apparently, according to Mr. David Tay, that's actually somewhat happening. But they're also retarded. They're not lowering the price because they expect to get full price when everyone and their mom is thinking the same fucking thing. I'm just like, you guys are in New York City. You're supposed to be fucking finance people. Do you not know how supply demand charts work, you know. I guess this is the demand and this is the supply. So when demand is going that way, guess what? The price goes down, right? When demand goes, oh shit, wait, this arm. When the demand goes up, price goes up, but demand goes down, price goes down. Price up, price down. So demand is going down for apartments. So you need a price accordingly, dumb fucks. You're going to lose if 9% of New York City just up and leaves, demand goes down, price goes down. Right? I suspect there are weirdos or bots that mass reports for anything pro-Asian. I mean, that's probably true. It's definitely true, especially in fucking America or the West. I think they have more anti-Asian, like virulently anti-Asian shit in Britain, actually, and Australia. But I think because there are so much more Asians, or so many more Asians in America, they can't really get away with that anymore, especially here. So they make it a little bit more subtle. They have their Zionist Jews make their Jewish humor about, you know, fucking. I was just watching Dodgeball, for example, the other day. And, you know, it's so fucking racist. There's this, like, Japanese team, and they just, like, fucking make fun of them the entire time. And it's not even, like, funny humor. It's, like, it's just fucking racist. You know, I thought it would be, like, at least, you know, and then you have The Hangover, obviously. The fucking small-ass dick. Judd Apatow, right? You know, Long Duck Dong. All that fucking shit. John Hughes isn't fucking Jewish, but I feel like comedy just got co-opted by Zionist Jews in the 1970s because of Lorne Michaels, like I said before. A lot of comedy came out of that SNL shit, or a lot of the post 1970s comedy scene in movies and in Hollywood came out of that fucking bullshit. And then even Louis C.K., who's half Jewish, he's also fucking anti-Asian as fuck. I used to like him until he fucking said all that shit about Asian men being like women or some bullshit. Well, he's a fat fuck retard now. He's probably a rapist as well. You know, he's probably a Zionist, right? He's probably a pedophile as well. You know, maybe that's, is that anti-Semitic of me to say? Well, I mean, you know, if you can't take it, don't dish it, right? If you can't handle the fucking heat, stay out of the fucking kitchen. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And my anti-Semitism is actually based on fucking truth. All the fucking pedophiles, they just run to Israel. Bryan Singer, right? Bryan Singer, the X-Men guy. You know, he probably fucked a lot of those actors. And then he was like, oh, no more X-Men movies for me. I gotta pack my bags, go to Israel. Man, they're gonna demonetize me. Well, guess what? I don't make money on this shit anyway. Is Bill Maher Jewish? I just feel like the most fucking anti-Asian people in liberal, the left, they're all fucking Jewish Zionists. It's fucking uncanny, man. Like, even, you know, it's just fucking retarded. But what can you do? That's the world we live in, guys. That's the world we live in, you know? And so I've been watching stuff like Spielberg stuff, J.J. Abrams. I've been just kind of like re-watching because, like, eventually I do want to make a video about Zionist propaganda, especially in Hollywood. And yeah, a lot of it is just fucking anti-Asian as shit. But I'm noticing other sort of stuff, like they seem to target Republicans, right? So that's my theory. So in the 60s, they kind of teamed up with the African Americans, right, with the civil rights movement in exchange for their support for Zionism, right? That's what MLK kind of endorsed, as well as the NAACP. And so in all these movies, they're all like progressive, right? Because they've got a black character and they talk about white Republicans being so racist to them, and they look like the hero, right? But then they say all this racist shit to Asian people. And it's like, oh well, you can't you guys take a joke? It's just comedy. We're not actually serious. Even when like fucking Seth Rogen just like fucking makes these stupid fucking me so horny jokes in the interview in 2014. It's just like all over the fucking like Jewish comedy scene. Judd Apatow, fucking that whole fucking Rat Pack crew or whatever. It's just all stupid fucking nonsense. And so that's what I'm trying to research. I'm trying to research that too. I'm trying to research everything that fucking, these fucking Zionist Nazis try to make. Because that's what they are. Zionists are fucking Nazis. That's what I realized when I'm reading all my research. Sup, D. Wallace. Good evening. As you can see, I'm starting at an earlier time. I'm trying to keep that consistent. Sup, BM. I know it's not evening for you, but it's probably around afternoon, I want to say. I'm guessing. Something like that. Or late morning. But, yeah. That's what I've been kind of thinking about. That's been what I've been doing. But... yeah. Sorry, my brain is a little foggy, so if I have like moments where it feels like I'm trailing off and not being really coherent, that's probably why I need to fucking take a nap. Yo, Doug, love from South Korea. Oh. Thanks, you and Ralph. This is true. Most of my black family and friends are very pro-Israel. The reason is because they supposedly also experience struggle. Really? Really? They also experienced struggle? What struggle did they face in America? What struggle? Once they came to America, what struggle did they really face? I guess in the 1930s, 1920s, they had quotas for Jews, right? In the Ivy Leagues. But even that is just like the elite, I guess, struggled. Just like the elite of Asian Americans struggle here. But it's just like, oh, wait, who are the people that are most pushing racist affirmative action shit against Asian people in America? Well, it's liberal Jews who are at the fucking forefront. So it's just like, wait a second, weren't you guys fucking discriminated against in college admissions in the 1920s, 1930s? And now you're saying it's time to discriminate against Asian people because now we need to get our good old black people that are on our side, that are part of the elite themselves, into colleges. Keep in mind, they don't care about the inner city black people, right? They don't give a fuck about the people who are in LA or New York City or in all these fucking liberal cities that are fucking struggling and never going to get out of whatever they're, in Baltimore, we've all fucking seen The Wire, right? There are black people that are never going to get the fuck out of there. But oh no, we need to care about, the rich black people, the Booker Washington 10%. Make sure they get their spots because they're going to be on our fucking side, right? Just like De La Beghetto said, because we went through the same struggle. You know what it is, De La Beghetto? During the fucking civil rights movement, they bought out all those fucking NAACP people because they made an agreement with the Democratic Party. It was like, we're going to keep this peaceful for y'all. Because the Malcolm X shit, Malcolm X was calling out Israel, actually, at the time. Malcolm X was saying these fucking, Jews are using imperialism. It's just imperialism in another name. He called that out in Zionist Congress. And guess what fucking happened to him immediately afterwards? He was assassinated. So Malcolm X was actually trying to warn black people, hey, don't tie your fortunes to the Democratic Party. Don't keep voting for them, because if you keep voting for them, you've given up your leverage, because they know that they've got you in the bag already. If you don't even threaten to vote for the Republicans, even if their candidate wins, they're never going to do shit for you, right? And then the proof is in the fucking pudding. Like, what happened when Obama came into office? Did relations actually improve for black people? No, he just made identity politics. He just created more division between white and black people. And what actually happened for black people? Did they get financially better off? Are they materially better off? No, they're even fucking worse than 2008, let alone fucking 1960s. In the 1960s, black people were actually better off in general. But then over time, they introduced drug stuff. They introduced the Contras, the Contra drugs in the 1980s. They basically promoted stuff like Diddy, or gangster rap, because they wanted to make the black community lumpenproll. They wanted to make them not productive to society, so they'd be self-fucking defeating, right? And then Obama, like, what did he fucking do for black people? Like, he told them to stand down during the NBA. The NBA was like, yeah, we need to fucking boycott the season because they're not respecting black people. They're still killing them, whatever. And it's just kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, Obama, and then in Flint, Michigan, mostly black residents with shitty fucking water. It's like, he's the most anti-black president, actually. Trump is actually kind of right when he's like, he's not that Trump is like the best president for black people or whatever. I'm not saying that either. But I'm just kind of like, when you look at Obama's actual record, not just the fact that he's black and he looks like you, so you feel better about your life because now we've got a black president. But when you look at his actual what did he do? He killed Gaddafi. Gaddafi was trying to make a United States of Africa. He was trying to like unite Africa under like one government to help like economic development throughout the entire fucking continent. And what did Obama do? He assassinated him like a fucking psychopath. And, Obama never wanted to marry Michelle for Michelle. He just knew that politically that was more, it was going to play better to black people, right? That's the only reason he married Michelle, because he was thirsting after white chicks all the fucking time in Colombia, all the fucking time. He was just like thirsting after white people left and right. Yeah, De La Beghetto. I know what's going on. I see what's going on, because I've been reading. Or I've read like Malcolm X. I've read MLK myself. I've read Frantz Fanon, black revolutionary in France, or he was French, but he was working in Algeria, and he agreed with the Algerian cause. They're not exactly black in Algeria. They are African, but I think they're more Muslim. But he was then writing in support of that. Not anymore, holy cow. Obama, well, in this book, it's funny because in Obama's book, he talks about this girlfriend he used to have. And in the book, he says that she's just white. But the actual person is half white, half Japanese, I think. So he had the WMAF mind virus as well, because Barry is half white himself. So he had the WMAF, the W/BM/W/AF mind virus. It was Hapa WBWAMF mind virus. Yeah, and the white side guy, like, who? Remember, wasn't Tucker Carlson saying that, like, in 2004, like, there was this guy who got his dick sucked by Obama, like this white dude who was threatening to come forward. I don't even fucking know. That dude is so, he's just like, he's smooth, right? He's smooth. He's a CIA agent, right? That's one of my videos. He's a smooth operator, that Barry. Exactly, De La Baguetto. Obama had the WMAF mind virus. You look it up. There was I forgot what her name is. Actually, let me see. Look up Sheila Miyoshi Yeager. Born 1963. She is of Dutch and Japanese ancestry. She graduated from Bennington College with a Bachelor of Arts degree in 1984. She earned a Master of Art in 1985, PhD in anthropology from the University of Chicago in 1994. So, when did she date Obama? So in the 1980s, Yeager lived with Barack Obama, then a community organizer in Chicago. In winter 1986, Obama asked her parents if he could marry her, but they objected. Shortly after he entered law school, Obama proposed to Yeager a second time, but she rejected him. Yikes magoo. The relationship was only made public in 2017, several months after the end of Obama's two-term presidency. In David Garrow's Rising Star, The Making of Barack Obama. Notably, David Garrow admitted that he had never seen Obama's letter to Yeager. Yeager is married to Jeel Kim, an Asian guy. An Asian guy defeated Obama. That's right. You hear it first. Mr. Smooth Operator Obama, who's probably gay, could not win against Jeel Kim, a retired U.S. Army vet and a history instructor at Oberlin College. They have 4 children and reside in Ohio. That's right. That's right. The Asian man defeated the Obama WMAF mind virus. I know, Wong. I'm just making a fucking joke. Just roll with it. Just roll with it, okay? God, I'm not like saying that that's a huge win, blah blah blah. I'm just like, whatever. I'm just making jokes. It's what we do on the podcast, you know? It's not always serious time. Sometimes you just want to fucking troll Obama, Barack Obama, Barack Hussein Obama the second. But yeah, you could read you could watch all about my dossier on him. It's a 3-hour thing. It's on my videos on this channel, not the live section, but the main video section. Anyway, what was I even fucking talking about? Obama side chick? I don't even fucking know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so frazzled right now. My brain is not working at 100% capacity. Like, remember when I said that since I've been smoking weed, it's probably like 75%. Right now, it's probably like 40%. My stream might be a little bit better because I downgraded to an earlier version of OBS, but my brain stream is not Obamina. Wait, who does Trump call Michelle Obamina? I need some coffee. I did drink coffee earlier today, but I think it's wearing off. I got my water, my Fiji. It's my favorite water. I actually don't get it that often because it's fucking pricey as fuck. But my Sifu, my black Sifu, carries a lot of Fiji, so he gives me some when I. Oh yeah, De La Baguetto. I'm learning kung fu from a black kung fu master. If you might find that interesting. But yeah, it's interesting too because he grew up in Brooklyn in the 1970s, I believe, 1970s, 1980s. And he's also kind of Muslim himself. So I was like, oh, like I'm kind of fuck with Malcolm X. And he was like, yeah, we all did. I was like, yeah. So that was cool. Um, Even though he doesn't like to talk about politics that much, because in Wing Chun it's supposed to be, you're supposed to not have causes, and you're not supposed to really like take sides on things, because you want to have inner peace. You want to have your own kind of like fucking individual sort of like, uh, you know, you don't want to like be with the crowd or anything like that, because like you can just be very easily manipulated. So Wing Chun is all about balance and focus. So we don't really talk about it that much, but sometimes we talk about stuff, especially race-related stuff. But yes, I am trying to be like water. I'm trying to be like water. I just watched Ip Man 2 again. I think like I really like Ip Man and Ip Man 2, but Ip Man 3 and 4, 3 kind of like goes off the rails. 4 somewhat brings it back, but it's also like, dude's probably like 80 years old at that point with cancer. How the fuck is he like fighting, this karate instructor in the army at that point? That's what Bruce Lee said about Wing Chun. Yeah. Well, he also developed his own thing. Working my chain punches, working on my bone style, lap style. But yeah, that was Bruce Lee. Actually, I think Bruce Lee was a big reason why black people started to fuck with Chinese shit. Because at the time, because of W.B. Du Bois, they fucked more with Japanese shit. Actually, because they thought like, being like the Japanese meant like being like powerful, and so you could kind of like, get over your white oppressors like that. But I think Bruce Lee sort of changed that conversation a lot. With the kung fu movies and everything, everyone saw that as like not only just like power and strength, but also kind of like a balance of philosophy of like they saw this inner strength that wasn't just about violence or aggression, but it was just kind of like this zenness about Bruce Lee. And he was also friends with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and some other big black Americans. And so I think a lot of black people really like were inspired by, especially like people like my Sifu. During the 1970s, it was kind of like rough, or the streets were pretty rough. And so a lot of black kids found inspiration in Bruce Lee back then. Yeah, Black Panthers too. Yeah, they supported Mao in the 70s. Bruce Lee didn't get involved in the whole KMT CPC thing. I know Ip Man did fight for the KMT, but he himself, Bruce Lee, never really talked about Chinese politics. He was just more kind of like inspiring people to be proud of being Asian, right? That was his big thing. Like, I'm a yellow man. I forgot what he said, but he's, he referred to himself like as a yellow man in the white man's world, because he knew all about fucking British colonialism, right, in Hong Kong. Even though, and back then, when he was alive, Hong Kong was still under British rule. It wasn't free from British rule until 1997. So Bruce Lee had a very strong sense of identity as an Asian man. And yeah, I think during the Cultural Revolution they did ban Bruce Lee movies, but I think Mao secretly was like, I like this shit. Like, this guy is cool, They banned it, I think, because they were like, well, it's probably being made by Hong Kong British money. Like, a lot of these fucking films, they're probably being like influenced by bourgeois shit from the British, and they probably want to make it so that it's antagonistic towards China. So I understand why they banned it during the Cultural Revolution, especially during the Cultural Revolution, which was like 1966 to like 1972-ish, 1973, something like that. And so, yeah, I think now, obviously, the Ip Man series, I think that is made by a Chinese. I don't think it's made by a Hong Kong. I have to double check that, but I don't think it's made by a Hong Kong film company. I think it's actually made by a Chinese film company. I might have to check that, but you can kind of see that they are somewhat rewriting Ip Man's story. They're not really talking about how he was pro KMT and all that stuff, but they focus on his own kind of like resistance against the Japanese, especially in the first one, right? And his own kind of rebellion against British rule in the second one, right? And his own kind of like pride in Chinese martial arts in America in the fourth one, right? And those events never happened in real life. It's the fourth one especially, I think. But yeah, it was just kind of, I watched that last scene where he beats up the British boxer at the end. I shed a tear or two again. I was like, oh, it's, I'm feeling my guy, Yip Man, even though he was KMT, I'm just kind of like, I feel like he still had, I mean, whether or not you're a nationalist or a communist, I think both sides were just sick of fucking white people, right? The fucking white devils, just telling us what to do, fucking colonizing us. Well, I can't say that about Korea. Korea's the only place that was colonized first by Asian people, right? They were colonized by the Japs. So Korea, we do have that distinct. We have like weird. Korean people have a weird history. Not only that, they're the only non-Western country to get Christianity indigenously in the 1700s. I mentioned this before on stream, but yeah, they're the only country that had travelers that brought Christianity back to Korea voluntarily. They weren't like missionaries that came to Korea that tried to spread Christianity to us. No, it was kind of like these Korean people who like met these Jesuit priests in their travels, and they were like, "Oh, that's cool. I like this. I'm a Christian now." And so that's why it's interesting because like in Vietnam, the Catholics were basically the fucking the West, because that's the French people came and they installed Catholicism in Vietnam. But in Korea, the Catholics were actually more the revolutionary types. They were the ones that helped with the Samil movement. They sheltered leftists during Park Chung-hee's rule. They hid leftists that were trying to kill any leftists. Even if you weren't a communist, if you were any way left, they would try to kill you. That was how fucking fascist South Korea was. I don't think many people understand how fucking like fascist it was in South Korea. That's why like nobody questions anyone. Nobody questions the narrative today, because they killed all the people who questioned the narrative today. So like not only did you see everyone who questioned the narrative get killed, you're just kind of like, well, I believe it now. Don't kill me. Like everyone else is like, yeah, I don't believe North Korea bad. I agree. Don't kill me. That's how fucking crazy it was in the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s in Korea. It kind of calmed down a little bit after that because, in the 1980s, it was very apparent that the Soviets were on their way down. And I guess they didn't expect China to become China, right? So they laxed up a little bit on the anti-Marxist, anti-leftist shit, and so they became more democratic, especially in the 1990s, right? They finally became democratic, right? I mean, it did improve life politically there. I'm not going to say that it had no impact. Like, of course it was worse under Park Chung-hee. Of course it was worse under Chun Do-won, but It's still not really a democracy. Let's fucking be real. And neither is Japan for that matter, right? Japan has been fascist pretty much since the Meiji Restoration, right? They've been fascist for like 160 years. So that's all Japanese people know. You know, that's why they're all so well behaved. Because they've been fucking fascist government for 160 years. You know, mostly under their control, but in the past 80 years, it's been under CIA control, right? And they're just like fucking proxy. The LDP is basically a proxy government for the CIA. CIA basically created the LDP with all the fucking war criminals. Like in Japan, you got all the war criminals, the fucking Nazi war criminals running the show, or their descendants. And in South Korea, you got all the fucking collaborators with those war criminals in power. And so, yeah, they're both kind of fucking fascist. But yeah. They're the defender of China. Bruce Lee was a quarter white. Yeah, I remember that. Remember her mom was part European Jewish. Well, whatever. I don't think he talked about really like geopolitics at all. I think it was more like talking philosophy stuff like Be Like Water, but also, you know, his philosophy on fighting and like you know, and Wing Chun has elements of Taoism and Buddhism in it as well. But it's also interesting because like Bruce Lee would experiment too. I think he might probably be on the spectrum himself. But he would try shit, like he would try all the different kinds of drugs to see if it would like improve any part of his kung fu. Be like, hey, is there some insight I can get from like doing this cocaine or this LSD or this fucking, I don't know. He tried apparently everything, and that's pretty much how he died, right? I think he overdosed on something. My Sifu, who was best friends with Bruce Lee, he thinks that he was killed by this Hong Kong director, based on, you know, his own investigation. We'll never know for sure, obviously, but yeah, they found elements of drugs in him. That's the story, right? He overdosed on something, I think. Bill de Blasio approves this message. Wait, why does Bill de Blasio? Bill de Blasio hasn't been mayor of New York since fucking 2013, I think. Yep, my grandfather was constantly jailed and interrogated for decades because his brother went to North Korea during the war. Oh, wow. Your grandfather's brothers defected to the North? I mean, I knew that happened, but I didn't know, like, you know, it's surprising to meet someone who has got that. I think that's why my mom gets so upset at the mention of communism. Yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, I've read the story about this black guy who was a soldier, right? He was a soldier in Korea. He was fighting for the American military, drafted, right? Because back then they had the military draft, and just like forced people. And then like what the Chinese and North Korean forces would do, they would drop leaflets, say in English, saying to black soldiers like, "Hey, we don't want to fight you guys. This is not your fight. Look, this is how the white man treats you like shit back home. And they're making you fight for them. Like, you guys should not do that. We don't have no quarrel with you guys. We're not racist like the white man. We want you to be free." And so a lot of people read that, or this guy read that, or these black soldiers, some of them saw that. This one was captured, though. This one was captured. He was an artillery person. He was captured by the North Korean military. And he writes about an experience. And, like, apparently they treated him really well in, you know, the prisoners of war, like, really well. Can't say that for the American side, right? But they treated him well, and then he decided, yeah, back at home in fucking, you know, Louisiana or wherever he was from the deep south somewhere. He was like, yeah, it's fucking terrible there. They got the KKK, whatever. Well, that's waiting for me. Like, what? How could this be worse? Let me try China out. Let me see what China's like. And he lived there. He lived there until the 1960s. I think the late 1960s. I think he moved back. He married a Chinese woman, moved back to the States afterwards. And he was, even during the Vietnam War, he was saying the same thing on Radio Hanoi. He was saying to black soldiers, he's like, yeah, dude, why are you guys here? Like, they treat us like shit at home. Why are you guys fighting for these white people? You know? And the NAACP sold it to them, right? They said, like, hey, this is how we become American. This is how we just got to kill people for the white man, and then we'll be. And then the same fucking shit with the Buffalo Soldiers, right? Back right after the Civil War in 1865, when that ended, they didn't clear out all the natives yet, right? That happened in 1890. So for those 25 years, the Buffalo Soldiers, especially at Wounded Knee, the Battle of Wounded Knee, if you look that up, a lot of war crimes happened by black American, like just slaughtering fucking Indian civilians or Native American civilians. And, I'm going to probably make some episode about that. I just have a fucking long ass queue, but it's just like, you're trading, your civil rights for your like own humanity, in my opinion, It's just kind of like, oh, yeah, Colin Powell tried to cover up the My Lai massacre, tried to make fake anthrax to invade Iraq. And it's just kind of like, that old, there was this like quote from Malcolm X. He's like, they will pay one of us to say something to make it look like it was one of us, right? They want us to look like the villain. So they're going to pay one of us to do that. And, that's how the Black Panthers got fucking cucked too. They didn't have to like really do that much shit. They just had to pay certain opportunist black people to be like, hey, we'll pay you if you give up this, then this. And yeah, that was that. Bruce Lee experimented with the electric shock there. Yeah, I'm sure he experimented with a lot of shit. If U.S. pulls out of Japan, will Japan attack other Asians again? No. If the U.S. pulls out of Japan, that is one thing Japan does not want. Because then all the other countries will be like, you know what? It's time. It's time to get some fucking justice that we haven't gotten for 80 years. It's time for some payback. So Japan is the one country that does not want America to ever fucking leave. They are praying to the fucking star. That's why that fucking bitch in PM, fucking Cart Titan fucking bitch. She's going all fucking full like, yeah, Taiwan and Israel and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we need to attack China and like all this shit because she wants America to be like, we're on the same side. We're on the same side. Don't leave. Don't leave. Let's see. What did I see? What did CIA killed Bruce Lee? That's what all my black friends say. It's possible. But it could have been MI6 actually, because he was in Hong Kong. So might not have been CIA. It might have been MI6. To be honest. Because that's British territory. He was killed in Hong Kong, or he died in Hong Kong. So if anything, it probably was MI6 territory. Let's see. What are people saying? Yeah, they were teachers, and I heard a lot of them were working for independence on the ground, and a lot of them ended up going to North Korea during the war. Yeah, because it made sense to a lot of black people. They're like, y'all fucking lynching us. What do I got to go back to America for? You're just going to fucking lynch us when we come back. Why would I want to? Why am I coming back again? I'm like, oh, these North Koreans, these Chinese people, they're treating me well. They're treating me nice here. They're not lynching me. They're not. They don't have any fucking reason to lynch me. So yeah, whatever. I'm staying. They were upset at the erasure of a language and history. Oh. Oh, I don't know about that. They let him move back. They're afraid of this evil. Well, I think it was more. I don't know exactly what happened, but I think they probably would look pretty bad because, like, the Vietnam War was getting really unpopular in America, and communism was kind of looking more and more attractive as a result. So they would kind of look like total hypocrites if they're like, oh, we can't have this commie coming in because, like, now people are like, well, y'all are fucking psychopaths. Keep in mind, in the 1970s, that's when the CIA and the FBI were kind of in a little bit of hot water. They were being investigated by the Congress and everything. Not that they lost power, but because public opinion was so bad about them, they kind of, like, the FBI and CIA were like, oh, we're sorry, we did all this fucked up shit. We'll never do anything like that again. It's like, okay, yeah, you know. Doug, did you know that Japan invaded Korea in 663 AD? It was a huge multiplayer battle. Silla, China, Japan. I forget number 4. I know they attacked in 1390s, right? That was the fucking Imjin War, I think. I don't know about the 663, but yeah, they've been fucking pieces of shit for thousands of years. You know, like World War II wasn't our first beef with the Japs. They've been kind of pieces of shit for a long time. That's what people don't really understand about the Japs. The Japs are not like the other Asians. Like China, Korea, and Vietnam, or Indochina, we all adhere to, like, Confucius shit. Like, our cultures have been Confucius for thousands of years. But that shit didn't really go to Japan. Not in the fullest extent. I mean, there might have been some spillover, but in Japan, it was more about Zen Buddhism. Zen Buddhism was kind of like the thing that came to Japan, and then the other thing, which was more their more pagan stuff with their like Shinto stuff. And so they had a different sort of worldview and ideology and philosophy, which is why they had that fucking samurai culture. They were kind of white, you know. Well, they wanted to be fully white, but they never quite got there because they're not, right? You can't really change your stripes, but culturally speaking, they were kind of white coated. That's why a lot of, you know, weebs love fucking samurai shit. They love that fucking violent bullshit of just conquest. I learned a few days from Dio. Oh, I don't really like Dai. He's kind of like an ultra. It's kind of stupid too. Japan has become pussified. Japan couldn't even get rid of Chinese Somali property. That's why AAAO, they need to suck America's dick because they want America to stay, because if America actually leaves, it's like both Koreas are going to be like, "Oh, that's interesting." And China's going to be like, "Oh, that's interesting." You know, that's interesting. You know, there's too many weaves maybe in the Philippines. In Vietnam, there might be a little bit more weaves there. But China and Korea, they're like, oh, that's interesting. And even Russia. You know, Russia's probably also remembering some of that shit. So, yeah, that's why they're never going to be anything more than just pussies. Oh, right. Takaichi. So fake with Taiwan. I mean, they're all... Even fucking the Taiwanese DPP president, he's such a fucking retard. He's like, we love Israel. Ugh. And it's like, you're so retarded. Like, the Taiwanese people are so fucking retarded. They're behind the meta. They were ahead of the meta for the longest time, right? They decided to hitch their way into the Democratic Party instead of the Republican one, to appear progressive to all the fucking leftist retards who are anti-China. But now they're behind the stack. They're kind of behind the times a little bit. They don't realize that the young, especially in America, are like, yeah, Israel is a bunch of psychopaths. Anyone who's under fucking 30 is not falling for that fucking bullshit anymore, you know? When you stream killing children in 4K, you tend to lose a little bit of support. And if you hitch your wagon to that fucking genocidal, pedophilic country, you kind of don't look good anymore. You might have tried that strategy 2 years ago, Mr. I don't even fucking know. This isn't lie or whatever. President LA. I don't even fucking know his name. It's not even important. That's the other thing, too. Like, nothing on Taiwan. The politics are not important. You know? I know someone tries to make it seem like it's the utmost important thing in all of reality and all of life, but everything is going to move on China's timetable. If China wants to do anything, they will do it, and Taiwan will bow to pressure immediately. There's nothing that Taiwan can do that can change that outcome. You know, even like trying to get more support from the United States will use Taiwan for its own interests. It's not on Taiwan's timetable either. So in either direction, it's either on China's or America's timetable. So nothing on the fucking island makes a fucking difference. Yeah, it might change public opinion about whatever. But look what happened to fucking Ukraine. You know? No one cares about public opinion there. They just throw all the citizens in the meat grinder. There's people like fucking crying that they're fucking going to this meat grinder. And I don't fucking blame them. It's like basically your a death sentence to go fucking in the Kharkov and, you know, or the wherever it is, Minsk. I don't even fucking know. I don't know Russian geography that well, to be honest. I haven't been following the war that closely. But yeah, you go out there, you're probably gonna fucking die, because guess what happened to all the fucking men who went out there already? That's why they're scraping the bottom of the barrel. You know, and so yeah, same thing with Taiwan. You know, if they decide, hey, if America decides, hey, we want to use Taiwan as our own personal Ukraine, guess what? You're going in the fucking meat grinder. That's what's gonna fucking happen. So nothing on the fucking island, the inner politics on the island, doesn't make a fucking difference either way. It's all about what China wants to do, and it's all about what America wants to do. That's their fate is in both of their hands. You know, they have no control either way. Barking Chihuahua. Yeah, tends to happen a lot with Taiwanese and Japanese people, right? There are a lot of barking Chihuahuas on those places. CIA killed Brandon Lee. I could believe that one, since that was in America, I think, when he was filming The Crow. I've never seen Brandon Lee's work either. The OG Rust movie death, Brandon Lee. We were once samurais. We was samurais. That was like the most cringe shit, you know, black weebs being like, yeah, Yasuke, that's our guy. We were actually samurais before. I was like, what are you fucking talking about? You guys are just like, you know who started the fucking we was trend? First, you know, like the most recent example is obviously Israel, right? We was Jews, right? We was Judea, you know, like it's like the whitest motherfuckers say they're more indigenous than the Palestinians, who probably looked a lot more like Jesus back then, right? And they're saying we was Jesus-like people. And it's like, no, you weren't. You're fucking white. A lot of you converted to Judaism as white people. So you're not actually even blood Jewish. So you're just fucking full of shit. So you're LARPing right now. And then even before that, you know, who the fucking Nazis. They were like, even fucking Hitler and Nietzsche. They were like, we was Greeks. We was Aryans. You know, I've been reading Hitler's Table Talk. You know, he said that, like, there's these crazy theories from Houston Stewart Chamberlain where Jesus wasn't actually a Jew, apparently. Apparently, there were Galileans in Palestine at the time that were separate from the Jews And that's where the real Aryan Jesus came from. And he goes into saying like, oh, all the cool Jews, they were actually Aryans. Like David, Solomon, those were Aryans. I'm just kind of like, this is the most convoluted fucking we was theory of all time. And I'm like, what are you fucking talking? You guys are like so fucking retarded. But a lot of people took this serious. Like Teddy Roosevelt took this seriously. Like he read Houston Stewart Chamberlain's shit in 1900 as well. And that's why he made the Schofield Bible. He's became Christian Zionists and all this shit. We was Jesus, you know. that was like basically like, you know, Hitler hated Christianity, but back then some white people were like, we were like Jesus was actually Aryan. You know, not only did the Italians paint him as white during the fucking Renaissance, but now they're trying to say, oh, he actually was white because he was against the Jewish religion, you see. He was actually trying to fight the Jewish religion. So how could he be Jewish? Right? That was their fucking logic. And I was like, all right, you guys are just retarded. You guys are just wee-wuzzing. You're just kanging all the time. The Nazis were kanging. The fucking Jews were kanging about Israel. And now black people are kanging about fucking Yasuke being Japanese. I'm just kind of like, can we stop the fucking kanging? Can we stop the fucking kanging? Please. Can we stop? You know? At least Mussolini was drawing from the Roman Empire, and that kanging was kind of legit. But the whole fucking we was Greeks, we was Jesus shit from the Nazis, I'm like, you guys are fucking retarded. We was Norse gods, we was Norse, we was Hyperborean. Like, what are you fucking talking about? You guys are fucking retarded. You guys are fucking idiots. Like, the English people, they were fucking retarded. Like, the Romans called the English, Germanic people, by the way, according to you guys, they called them fucking retarded. They were like, these are the fucking stupidest pieces of shit we've ever conquered in our entire lives. We was nothing, okay? We was nothing. You guys weren't the Romans. You certainly weren't the fucking Greeks, okay? It's just stolen valor shit. All this fucking racial shit is so stupid because it's also stolen valor. Like, the fucking Nazis were stolen valor. The fucking, like I said, the Zionists were stolen valor. Now these black Zionists are being fucking stolen valor. Just like, you're not even fucking, like, kanging about, like, legitimate stuff. Like, you could maybe make the claim that you, like, black people can maybe make the claim about Egypt and Egyptians. And, like, okay, that kind of makes sense because Egypt is literally in Africa. But everything after that, I'm just like, what are you fucking talking about? Right? We was Changs with some... Yeah, now white people are getting into it. They're like, oh, we actually gave the inspiration for communism to China. So actually, we're the real Chinese people. You know, a certain someone that I've been going after a while has been making that case a lot, you know? Or, you know, the other side is a tech bro argument. It's like, oh, well, China got rich off of us because they, you know, they used our technology and all that. So actually, China's success is our success. And I'm just like, okay, guy, okay, white man. You know, it's just like all this kanging. Just stop fucking kanging. Like, that's the thing. Asians, we don't kang. Asians don't kang because, first of all, we don't need to kang. We just do things. We just get shit done. Like, in the past 80 years, Asian GDP, like, not just communist China, but Korea, whatever, we got things done. We didn't kang at all. We were just kind of like, yeah, the British took over, and we learned from those mistakes. The French took over in in Vietnam. You know, the Dutch took over in Indonesia. Yeah, we were not kangs back then. We were not kangs. We was not kangs, you know? But we had the humility to understand that and be like, you know what? Well, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen again. Right? But we don't have to fucking be like we was something in order to do that. We just put our heads down and be like, let's get to work. Let's get to work, motherfuckers. Let's do this shit. Let's get it done. And we got it done, right? We got it done. We was getting it done. That's what we was, you know? We still Changs. We still Changs. We was Changs. We is Changs. We will be Changs. We was Changs. We is Changs. We will be Changs. That's the Asian way, baby. That's how we do it. You know. The Asian Y. It's the AZN. Fuck the rest. Dial S to New York. We the best. Vietnam to Japan to Mongolia. Philippines to Taiwan to Cambodia. Korea. Hometown China. Who you got? You got shit. Feel the size. It's the AZN. Better recognize. Got rice, bitch. Got rice. Got food. Got soup. Got spice. Got brains like us. Got cars like us. Got girls. Got... Anyway. It was a popular song in the 1990s among Asian American second-gen boys, men. We were once samurais. CIA killed. All right. I'm going to wind this down. Haha, love it. That's right. Look it up. Look up Got Rice. It uses the Changes beat from Tupac. I see no changes. All I see is racist faces. You know. Rapper Jin. Jin was okay, but then he turned really Christian. And then, well, I guess that's fine for him. But, yeah. Then he stopped making gangster rap, I guess. Or whatever. Which is fine, but, you know, not really inspiring for Asian men anymore. Minsk is actually the capital of Belarus. Well, there you go. See, I need to fucking brush up on my Soviet history or my Russian history. Clearly, I neglected a lot of that stuff. I'm more researching, obviously, the Nazis right now. And fucking China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, to Japan, to Mongolia, Philippines, Taiwan, to Cambodia. You know? That's been the full sole focus, you know, obviously. I'm an Asian man. I'm the Yellow Knight. I'm researching Asian shit. I'm not researching fucking white people shit. I mean, I guess I am. I'm researching the Nazis. But anyway, the point is, you know, obviously I'm going to be devoting more of my intellectual resources into Asian shit because that's more relevant to me, right? Literally, I'm named after a fucking Korean War general, so it's kind of been my MO. MC Jin. Yeah. Wait, you and Rolf, do you know that song? You're out in Korea. I don't know if you were born and raised there, but have you ever heard about that? Ain't no was. You say this, and then you look at Arthur saying how the Jews fear the samurai, captioned with a selfie of him in his car. The Jews actually did not fear the samurai because the samurai, aka Japan, was inviting Jews. They were like, wait a second. If Germany is saying that Jews are so good at economic planning and capitalism, maybe we should import some of them, the Fugu plan, to come help, you know, administer Shanghai and our Chinese territory now. Maybe they can help us, and we could frame it as like, oh, we're getting rid of these Jews for you, Germany. Just send them over this way. We need some economic help. That's funny. The Japanese heard all the Nazi propaganda about the Jews, and they actually thought it was a positive. They were like, oh, come over here. And it's not only that, Japs make Zionist propaganda for them. You know, Attack on Titan is literally fucking Zionist pro-Israel propaganda. And so I don't even know what Arthur Kwan Lee is talking about. He's fucking retarded. He doesn't even know what he's saying. Remember when I was like, so you're a Korean. Do you not know who Germany allied with in World War II? Do you not? What, do you have brain cells, Mr. Arthur Kwan Lee? He's just a fucking opportunist. That's what he is. He probably read Hitler's Table Talk, and he's not established artist himself, and he was just kind of like, well, it's because of these Jews I'm not popular, right? That's basically what a lot of what because in Vienna, in the art world in Vienna, Jews had a lot of influence, and so he actually worked with some Jewish art dealers to sell his own watercolors in Vienna, Hitler. But ultimately, he didn't get into these art school and whatever, so he blamed the Jews, right? Because it's like, oh, it must be these Jews that are stifling progress and stifling my genius and stifling whatever. Because he's also reading Richard Wagner's shit, and same thing, where like, oh, see, they stifled his genius because they're fucking Jews, etc., etc. And so, like, fucking Arthur Kwan Lee, just reading this shit, he's like, oh, yeah, see, the Jews are in charge of media and whatever. That's why I'm not, you know, a famous artist. I'm like, no, your shit just fucking sucks, but sucks donkey dick. And you don't even know your own fucking history. You don't seem to know that you're Korean, not Japanese. So you just must be mentally retarded. I remember Arthur and Ed going at it at KTSC. Yeah, and I was just trying to get, answers. I was just trying to be like, all right, well, this is this. I was kind of just annoyed at Ed fucking messing that shit up. Because I was, like, setting it up to make Arthur look like a fucking total retard. Which I feel like I did somewhat. But I feel like it would have worked a lot better if he just shut the fuck up and let me cook. Let me cook! I feel like everyone's just like getting in my way, and I'm just like, let me cook. Stop giving me like these retarded ingredients. No, that's not. I don't need that. I got my ingredients. I know what I'm doing. The aluminum comes after the CO2, or the CO2 comes after the aluminum. Amalgamate. I got this P2P process. Cooking methamphetamine. I got it all down. Got my 99.1% purity down. And you're fucking messing it up with chili P right now, right? I don't want your fucking chili P in my meth. All right? Like, he posted this pic of some black guy with a white girl saying how black men are taking white women, trying to taunt the chuds. And they didn't like that very much. Yeah, and it's just kind of like, dude, have you not heard of the WMAF mind virus? Like, what are you fucking talking about? If you're going to go after people for not mate guarding hard enough, they're going to point that out. They're going to point out the WMAF mind virus so hard on your ass and make you look like a total retard, which you are. I was trying to be the voice of reason. Ed jumped the turnstile like your sister in Paris. Exactly. Everyone just needs to let me cook. Everyone needs to stop fucking putting chili P in my methamphetamine. We will give them unadulterated 99.1% pure meth. Pure CHNO3. I don't even know. I'm LARPing right now. No one misses the ATSC days. I know what Yoon's talking about, though. I think he means, like, I miss the days when we had somewhat of a fucking rhythm going on, with me, Ed, Michael Wan, I feel like that trio was pretty good. And then it just kind of fell off the rails. I don't think anyone who's been on that show, I don't think anyone likes Michael Kim anymore. That's right, Michael Kim. No one fucking likes you. Like, out of all the fucking guests, even though it looked like I was fighting against all these guests or whatever, or not guests, other panelists all the time, the person they hate the most is you, Mr. Kim. Yes, I know my name is Mr. Kim too, but Mr. Michael J. Kim, you fat fuck. That's right. That's right. I don't really like traitors, you know. I don't like traitors. Once you betray my trust, it's over. It's fucking over. There is no redemption for you ever in my life. There might be redemption for you with Jesus Christ and the Lord. You know, that's not me to judge. I can't judge your soul. But as far as this earth goes, I am never fucking associating with you ever again. I will never. Once you've betrayed my trust. Not once. Fool me once, right? Fool me once. But fool me twice? Fuck you. I'm going to fucking come for your ass. You know? Oh, holy cow. Did you not? Did you not see my... Anyway. Where's Yosep Huang? We need the KTSC is dead still indicator. Yosep Huang. What a fun guy. He needs to come in here every time. He comes in, for those of you who don't know, he comes here every time to be like, "Hey, guess what? KTSC is still dead." Oh man. And you know, now that I'm doing more, you know, I'm actually realizing some stuff that I didn't even realize back then. And yeah, that trust has gone out the fucking window. And now I'm closer to the fucking truth. I will always fucking find out what happened. That's the thing. That's a fucking thing that pisses me off. Not just that they betrayed me, that these kind of people betrayed me, but the fact that they thought they could get away with it. The fact that they thought they could pull one over me and think that I would not be smart enough to figure it out. They think that they were more clever than I am. That's the most insulting part of it all. I'm just kind of like, y'all did some fucking shoddy ass work. You didn't cover your tracks at all. It's so fucking obvious what you guys were up to this entire time. And it's like, you are dealing with someone who regularly talks about conspiracy shit for the past 5 years of his life. Like, did you not think that I would piece together what was happening? Like, god damn it. You are not as clever as you think you are, especially when it comes to me. These fucking retards, these fucking fat fuck retards who think they could, like, even, like, step to me. I'm like... And that's what it is. That's what it is. It's, like I said before, these psychopaths kind of think they can control me. Because they probably can control a lot of other people. Because they're fucking psychopaths. And they probably control, like, you know, people who are less powerful or less smart in general. But when they come across someone like me, they try to control me, and when they realize they can't, they get really jealous, and they get fucking uppity, and they get fucking traitory, and they get fucking piece of shitty, and it's just kind of like, when I reflect back on it, it's just kind of like funny to me. It's funny how fucking petty and small they think, and how predictable they are. How fucking predictable. That's the funny part to me. I'm just kind of like, you think you know the darkness? I was born in the darkness. You think the dark favors you? No, I was born in the darkness. Anyway, Doug, what do you think of Bart Kwan? I mean, I don't really like know what he's doing anymore. I think he's just like shilling for anti-China shit like a retard these days. But he did appear in my music video, so I don't know, whatever. I guess like I'm not like I don't have like too many bad feelings about him. I just think he's just a total retard, opportunist. Talking about anti-China. But yeah, they're not smart people. They just were really successful. They were first movers in a new environment. And credit to them. They were smart entrepreneurs. They built that channel, Just Kidding Films and whatever. With Wong Fu and all that stuff back in the day. And they turned it into business and they were really successful. So all power to them. But as far as their analysis on politics, yeah, that's just fucking retarded. Anyway, it got too liberal for me. I guess he wanted to more mainstream to get ad revenue. But that was the thing. He didn't have faith that the ad revenue was coming. That eventually, because that's the thing that happened during the new Trump election, or even even a little bit before that, in 2023, 2024, when we started in 2024, right? And we were getting not a lot of views, but we built it from like 0 to like 4,000 viewers, 4,000 followers in like 10 months. And the reason for that is because mainstream media was lying all the time. People wanted fucking, independent research. And that's why you have, people like James Lee and that other guy who does conspiracy theory shit. They blew up because people want to see more of that shit. Only I'm not blowing up because, I'm a little bit more forward with my communist shit, and that doesn't really play well. But I don't really care because I'm more about telling my truth. I don't care about like channel growth and all these metrics. I just care about getting the truth out or getting what I believe out. And so he didn't even fucking understand that, which is because he's a fucking retarded Nepo baby. His mom literally owns the fucking company. Didn't know what he's fucking doing. Like every fucking thing he's like, I can't. I'm not gonna share other details, but like, even unrelated to KTSC, I was just like, what are you fucking doing? This is like dumbest fucking idea ever. And yeah, it was just him being insecure that everyone knew KTSC was basically me, That was why people came, right? Maybe a little Ed, maybe a little bit of Ed, right? I guess. And maybe a little bit of Michael Wan to provide that counterweight. But, I don't like to like, it's surprising, I guess. Most people might think I'm this bombastic, arrogant person. But like, generally speaking, I'm pretty like, I don't really like to take credit unless I feel like I absolutely deserve it. Like, I hate when people over-credit me. Like the World Series of Poker I was talking about last time. I was like, no, I'm not one of the fucking best players in the world. It's like someone else is, I can't stand when somebody overpraises me for something. That kind of like just makes me a little not uncomfortable, right? But in this one case, I was watching Star Trek, when I was watching Star Trek, and there's a scene where Spock maroons Captain Kirk on another planet because he's being insubordinate. And then he was like, and then the Bones, the doctor, General Dr. McCoy, I think, or whatever his name is, he goes, "Permission to speak freely, sir." And then like Spock is like, "Permission granted." It was like, back where I'm from, we have a saying, if you're gonna run the Kentucky Derby, you don't leave your best stallion in the stable, right? Right? And I was just like, yeah, if you're fucking running the Kentucky Derby, you don't leave your best stallion in the fucking stable, right? And look what happened. After I was gone the second time, even after I was gone the first time, it started to like, everyone was like, and then he even fucking left, right? He left because he saw the writing on the wall. Like, he says that, oh, I had to take care of business. That's fucking bullshit. He just wanted to like not be a part of it because he knew that it was going downhill, and he didn't want to be seen in a failing product. That was because he kicked me off, right? And then when he brought me back again, or when Ed brought me back, what happened after that? And he kicked me off the second time. What happened after that? It only took like 2 or 3 weeks. It was over. 2-3 weeks after I was gone. And then he tried to interview Hank Yu and that random fucking weird guy from Vietnam. I don't even fucking know who that is. And it was just like... And then he tried to do this mukbang shit with Zhang Yu. Because, Zhang Yu is such an influencer. Everyone's going to want to watch that. I wasn't even mad. I was just kind of like, that's your move? That's your big plan? Zhang Yu mukbang? That was your ace in the hole? Oh my god. You really are more retarded than I thought, right? So I only watched after initially finding your Saigu doc. Oh, thanks. So yeah, that's what that's what he commissioned me to make. It was a liberal circle jerk after you left. Yeah, exactly. Why would anybody want to watch people just doing the same shit? If you wanted to watch liberal jack-off session, just fucking watch The View, right? You got celebrities telling you all this fucking bullshit or whatever. It's just like just watch a fucking MSNBC and Friends, right? That's, if you want that shit, you can go to the NBC. Why would they go to fucking Radio Korea to watch liberals being liberal? It doesn't fucking even make sense. He left to do food videos, lol. Wait, I just got back. What's a tea? I mean, it's not really new tea, D. Wallace. I'm just kind of rehashing. I'm sure Yosep could tell you once he's back to tell us the status of KTSC again. I'm sure he could tell you all the shit that went down. But if you really want to know, just watch this again after it fucking uploads or whatever. Don't forget, he was traveling around the world, traveling around reviewing burgers. Yeah, that I was just like, what? And you know what the other funny thing is? Remember that date show I went on? Do you guys watch that when I was on a blind date? That got like 14,000 views, whereas I think afterwards nothing got as many views as that. Let me see. Blind date, KT. Radio Korea. Douglas Kim. Okay. Okay, let me see how many blind dates. So they had 3 episodes. Blind date, because... Alright, I just... wait. I just posted the link. Let me know if it works. Yeah. So just posted the link. So mine was the first episode. I only did this, and I only agreed to this shit because I wanted to help Radio Korea so that'd be more visibility for KTSC, right? I did this as a fucking favor to fucking Michael, that fuck Matt Michael Kim, right? And this is how he repays me, right? I do this embarrassing fucking bullshit. This blind date bullshit. I never wanted to do this shit, but he puts me on this fucking blind date bullshit. But yeah, it gets 14K views. Because guess what? I'm an interesting fucking guy. And then, they do it again with, they do it with Ed and this other old people. And it does not get as many views. They only got 3K views. And I'm like, I mean, when credit is where credit is due, I do enjoy tooting my own horn. I love it when people thought I wasn't going to be the main draw, and I was the main draw, and the proof is in the fucking numbers. 14K views, and then 3K for the next two. Yeah, my parents did watch it. It was just kind of, I don't know. I think they were just like over it after it wasn't a successful thing. Yeah. Oh, the girl that replaced me was Helena. Low key, high key, you and Ed made the show, especially when y'all were arguing. Yeah. And, I'm in media. Ed's in media. We knew we were kind of playing it up, too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there was genuine kind of, like, anger a little bit. But we also kind of knew we were both autistic, right? We're both on the spectrum. We kind of knew nothing was in, like... Yeah, and we're kind of, like, friendly with each other still today, till today. And it's not like we talk regularly, but it's not like we hate each other either. We both agree... Well, I'm not going to say it, but... We both agree on something. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah, as far as me and Ed go, we're like chill, actually. But, we're both in he's an influencer, and I was in media or Hollywood for the longest time. I understand that in order to get views, you got to make it controversial. You got to make it kind of like, you got to make it spicy, you got to make it spice my guys. You got to throw shit. You got to whatever. What I was frustrated at was felt like I was doing all the fucking work and Michael Kim was just like sitting back watching the show. I'm like, you're supposed to fucking moderate this shit, you dumb fuck. You never fucking moderate it. Even when like Ed was talking fucking nonsense that even fucking I knew Mike would disagree with it. I'm just like, can I get a little bit of fucking backup here? And he's just like, oh, I'm just trying to make you look good. It's just, shut the fuck up, you dumb fuck. Ed and Doug show was the best. Reminds me of my family get-togethers. Yeah. At the end of the day, we're Korean. That's how Korean people kind of fucking talk to each other. We're very ruthless. But at the end of the day, we also know we got our backs at the end of the day. That's the thing, That's what family people are, like they will go hard at, like my parents, for example. I will go hard on them as fuck when they say retarded fucking bullshit in politics. They never want to talk about politics with me now because they know I'll bring the hammer down if they say anything remotely stupid. So they know to steer clear of politics. But at the end of the day, I'm taking a bullet from my mom, I don't know for sure. Maybe I'll wimp out or whatever. Who knows, right? I mean, anyone can say that, but when the push comes to shove, are you really doing that? I don't know. I'd like to think I would. But yeah, that's how Korean families are. We're fucking. That's how North Korea and South Korea are a little bit too, right? We're literally at war with each other. But we all hate Japan. That's for fucking sure. I think there was this like meme graphic where it was just kind of like if America went to war with China, there was like the poll in South Korea. If America went to war with China, what would South Korea want to do? And like some of them said attack North Korea. Some of them said attack China too with America. And then a lot of them said, we attacked Japan. I think it was just a meme, but that was kind of funny. That was kind of hilarious. All right, I've been yapping a lot, and I gotta eat real soon because I gotta do some stuff later. So that's it for me. Unless anyone has any questions, I'll take any questions now. Let me see if the NGL, anyone's got NGL questions. Nope, no questions. I don't know what I'm eating, David Tay, but I'll figure it out and I'll let you guys know next time. All right, I'll see you.